Today we're going to explore, should you marry Ira of the Southern Empire? Ira is one of the main protagonists in Bannerlord. She is the daughter of the slain Emperor Rennicus, and her story goes like this. Ira is the daughter of Rhaega, one of the three claimants to the imperial throne, and the slain Emperor Rennicus. At one point her father appeared to be grooming her as his heir, but though she looked well to military campaigns, she also displayed a wild side unbecoming of imperial dignity, carousing in taverns with other young aristocrats, and even appearing in the arenas as a gladiator. She is Rhaega's heir apparent, but her mother makes no secret of wishing to find her a responsible consort to ensure the continuity of her dynasty. Although she's got a good story, she's also got good stats, so we're going to take a look at that. Looking at Ira's skills and level initially, so her level usually starts off at 23, which is pretty high for a wife. The main skill that I usually look at would be stewardship. Stewardship determines how much of an army size you can have, and especially in a wife, if you're sending her out recruiting, it's really good to have high stewardship. So she comes in at 110, and she also has 3 attribute points in that, which is pretty good. She's also got 100 in tactics, but not any attribute points, which means she'll be better in battles, but without the attribute points, she doesn't have many perks and things like that. In terms of a fighter, she's pretty good at one-handed, and she's also pretty good in polearm. They're her main skills. I wouldn't really say that throwing is good for a wife. Her bow isn't very good, so I wouldn't give her a bow, but her riding is pretty good. So if you're contributing to heirs, if you're having a family, she's going to be passing off some pretty good skills. Putting those skills into practice, you can see here in her party size that she can get up to 92 men, which is quite a lot for a wife. She's really good for sending her out. She can recruit troops for you and then bring them back, and she can level them up. She's pretty good at leveling them up pretty quickly as well. I've often sent her out and she comes back with like some fairly good like Imperial veterans and things like that. But the party size is really essential here. Some other external skills that Ira also has is if you put her in a governor in a settlement, she has a faster production rate of 2.75. It's not the biggest one out of all the wives you can get, but it still is pretty good to boost a settlement quickly. Let's face it, one of the main reasons we may want to marry someone in Bannerlord is just to steal their gear, and Ira does not disappoint in this regard. With head armor, she comes in with an Imperial jeweled helmet, 50 head armor. For padding, she's Imperial padded shoulders, 14 body armor, 4 arm. And the main attraction, lamellar with scaled skirt, 48 body, 22 leg, 16 arm. Decorated Imperial gauntlets for arm, 28 armor. Decorated Imperial boots, 24 leg armor. She also comes with the Imperial scale barding for your horse, which is 75 horse armor. Now this weighs a lot, so I usually don't use this. It's 30 weight. Weapons wise, shield and a light royal mace. I don't really use these too much, but her sword, a Damascus steel spatha, is just amazing. 75 cut, 90 speed, 51 pierce, and it's good on horseback because it's 110 length. Just looking at her, just from a point of view, if aesthetics purely, look at the gauntlets and the boots. They're amazing. The sword looks cool, and the helmet is just class. And so is the body armor. Finally, something for everyone else besides your die-hard players is Ira is not the worst looking of wives, and this will also relate into your heirs, that you'll have better looking heirs. Her skills will also translate between your skills, depending how high or low your skills are, to having good heirs, because she's a pretty good all-rounder, especially in Imperial terms. Like, they'll be getting a lot of stewardship from you, and tactics from her, and stewardship from her, and the riding is pretty good with one-handed as well, depending on what you're going for. In conclusion, if you're thinking about choosing Ira for a wife, she's pretty good skills wise. She isn't the best out of all the other people you can marry. There's some better ones in the Empire, like Lyanna is probably one of the best ones you can marry in the entire game. Looks wise, she is one of the better looking ones. And also just for storytellers, if you're making videos or if you're just like to get immersed into stories yourself, she's the one with the best backstory. If you're thinking about doing an Imperial campaign and you're like, oh, I need legitimacy to be the new Emperor, she is the heir to the Empire. So by marrying her, you gain theoretically influence, and you also gain an insight into becoming an emperor better and being a more legitimate emperor. So thanks for joining me. If you liked the video, leave a like, and if you want to see more, give a subscribe.